Hi, welcome back to Licky Bar School. So the first thing that we're going to do this quarter is another writing assignment. And in this writing assignment, you will need to write a review. This review can be of a book or a movie, or as I'm doing my sample here, it could be of a TV series. These days, we tend to watch TV series with the binging method, or some people call it Netflixing, where you watch one episode after another, and before you know it, you watch 3 to 5 seasons, and you don't know where all your time went. That's how I watched Mr. Robot, and because of that, I consider it kind of like one experience. Of course, it lasted a few weeks, but it was one experience. For the pre-writing for this writing assignment, you will have a form to fill out. This is a printout of that form with my answers on it. And I'm including that in an attachment on this video. So what you need to do, and I'll also include it on the assignment. So we'll put it in both places and hopefully you will find it. So if you want to print it out, or maybe bring up the screen with the form on it, you might want to pause this video because I'm going to be spending quite a bit of this time going over this form and how to use it both for the pre-writing and for the rough draft. Your final product should be a 20 to 25 sentence essay, okay, organized into 5 paragraphs, and this form will help you make the paragraphs. A lot of my students last year enjoyed doing this, partially because they like to write about things they enjoyed watching, but also partially because they liked the fact that it was structured in such a way as to take out a lot of the guesswork as to how to create a 5-paragraph essay. So, pause if you need to print or pull up a screen. Anyway, I know, I'm kind of excited about getting back to work. I know, I'm weird. Anyway, you will see if you were looking at the form that this is organized into 5 sections, and each one of those sections has a heading that says what a paragraph is going to be about in your essay. And then it has some questions or blanks to fill in that will help you to construct sentences to go in each paragraph. When you're filling out the form, you do not need to write complete sentences. If you need to figure out who the creator of this TV show or the author of this book, etc. is, then you might need to look that up online. But again, as I've told you before, you are not to give me writing that was written by someone else, whether it be someone online, your friend, or somebody else that you know. I am here to grade your writing and see how you are able to construct sentences and paragraphs and use the grammar that you have learned so far at Licky Bar School. And not to grade the writing of some random person that I don't know. So please do what you can to make sure that you do not plagiarize. Some people have already discovered that if you plagiarize, I will find out, number 1, and number 2, it creates more work for you in the end. So remember that. Okay, so the first section is the introductory paragraph. And these are things that should be included in your introductory paragraph. The book title or movie title or TV show title and the author or creator of that work. In my case, the title is Mr. Robot, and titles should be underlined, but this is pre-writing and who cares, right? But as you see, as I started writing this in a paragraph, I went ahead and underlined it. If I were typing, I would italicize it because the name of the series. The creator is Sam Esmail, and it's a Netflix series. Now that's not included in the first question, but I think it's kind of important to know in this case that it's a Netflix series, not a book, not a movie, not a network television series, but a Netflix series. And number 2 says the main idea of the story. So for me, I put exploring the hacker world, and I put this subculture could change everything. And if you have watched the show, then you know that. And it says main idea of the story. Remember to not do spoilers. When you read a book review or maybe a movie review, maybe you watch a YouTube review of a movie, you will find out that in most cases, the reviewers do not let you know what happens at the end. They do not reveal the major surprises of the story. They just help you to get oriented into the story and their opinion about it. Okay, so I'm not going to reveal what happens at the end of Mr. Robot because it would totally ruin it for you. Okay, so then the next question says something unique and interesting for readers to know or viewers to know. It's the first series about hacking, I think. And the main character is played by the same guy who played Freddie Mercury in the movie about the band Queen, Rami Malek. I had to look up his name because it's unusual and I didn't remember it. Okay, so those are the things that need to be in the first paragraph. Okay, so the second paragraph says the body paragraph or the setting. The main idea of the story. Now see, we had the main idea of the story here, and then I'm putting the main idea of the story here. So I'm kind of wanting you to maybe say it in a different way, or give more of an idea of how the actual story begins. Okay, so maybe this one in the introduction is more general, and then in the body paragraph here, it's more specific. And so what I wrote here is sort of a Robin Hood story. The main character is recruited to help take down a large corporation and return the money to the people. Okay, and so like let's say that the large corporation is Microsoft. It's going to be something like that. And in his New York, Microsoft pretty much runs everything. It's not Microsoft, it's another company called E-Corp. But it runs pretty much everything. And people have decided that this company is just sucking up all the money and people aren't making enough money to survive. And so they're going to do what Robin Hood did and steal the money from the rich and give it to the poor. Okay. Then it goes on. I didn't do all of it here, but I'm going to go over this whole outline with you to help you to make sure that you know the kinds of things I'm looking for you to write. What I wrote for the main idea of the story there. And then where does the story take place? It takes place mostly in New York City. They do go to different places, but it's almost all in New York City. And when does the story take place? It's pretty much present day. If you could think maybe it's like slightly in the future, but I would say pretty much present day. Something unique about the time or place in which the story takes place and how it affects the characters is number 4. And what I wrote for Mr. Robot is New York's underworld, including Chinatown, the drug culture, gaming clubs, subways, and also accurate hacking language is kind of part of the setting, even though it's not technically a time or place. This movie is, or not this movie, but this TV show is what is known for using not just random characters on a computer screen, but if you look at the computer screens, it's actual kinds of language that they would use in hacking. So, and it's really admired by people that are very techie because it's well done in that aspect. Okay, So body paragraph 2 is about the characters. Okay, so write the name of a character and maybe just 2 or 3 words about that character or something. So what I wrote was Elliot Anderson, he's the main character. Mr. Robot recruits him, and Mr. Robot is in quotes because that's not who he is, but that's what Elliot calls him, Mr. Robot. And you'll find out why, and then you'll find out really why later. And then Darlene is his main hacking buddy. Angela is his best friend. Fred Price is the CEO of E Corp. So he becomes